bad fieldsman, and I didn't describe to you what the Anglo-Saxons saw in this landscape, at least not according to the interpretation of Margaret Gelling. So here to your left, in the middle of the screen, is the Hringpit, Hringput in Old English, and it meant ring pit. To the right in the middle is Ekelersberg, which means the barrow of Ekel, or it could mean Ekel can also mean church, so it could be the barrow of the church or the mound of the church. Uffington Castle is, according to her definition, is Ashesbiria. This is the Langen ditch, which is a long ditch, the Shorten ditch, which is a short ditch, and beneath us here is a Bronze Age round barrow cemetery. These definitions are supported by the Place Names Society, who quite openly say that Grundy's wrong. But it isn't completely unchallengeable. A lot of those landmarks I pointed out, and others in the Charter, according to Margaret Gelling's definition, there are no changes in direction. So it's literally like saying, when you're trying to describe the route to somewhere to someone, just saying, well, go to this, then that, then the other, all in a straight line, and then turn right at the White Hart. It is far more efficient just to say, go down the road for a mile and then turn right at the White Hart. So I do have my doubts about some of this. This is a Bronze Age barrow cemetery. I hope that isn't human. About a mile south of Uffington Castle is what is marked on the OS map, Idlebush Barrow, and that is barrow number 1 on my map. In the Anglo-Saxon Charter, it is called Havakers Chlor, which means the low of the hawk, or the mound of the hawk. This looks to me like a bell barrow, and was probably built 4,000 years ago, 4,500 years ago, something like that. Now, the Anglo-Saxon Charters don't necessarily tell us anything about the prehistoric past. They're only 1,000 to 1,500 years old, and these barrows are much older. But the Charters do tell us about some prehistoric things, like there's an awful lot of rivers that we know of today that have names that we use today that are Proto-Welsh, ancient Celtic names. But we can't make that leap with these barrows. We don't know that the ancient peoples called it the Hawk's Barrow, even if the English did. This barrow is called Hundeslaw, and that means the hound's barrow, the hound's low. And it is a disc barrow, and you can see that. You can't necessarily see it clearly on this footage, but you can see it on the LiDAR. There's a little hump in the middle, and it's that flat discus-like formation that allows us to interpret it as a disc barrow. There's evidence to show that it was women that were buried in these disc barrows, which is an interesting thought in itself, that they made these sort of symbolic separations. This is Tatakan stone, a named Saxon boundary stone. I finally found one. That's another one for my collection. I'm really pleased with that. You can see it's sharpened down both edges. It's a nice shape. It's a tool of some sort. I'm not going to try and pretend what date it could be, any time in the last 200,000 years I would think. But lovely, I like that.